writing linear equations, okay? Let me get rid of this stuff so I can see. And what this is we are going to become really, really familiar with the parts of this slope-intercept form of an equation. Okay? The slope-intercept form says y equals mx plus b. We need to understand what those parts are and what they mean. So, it can also be minus b, okay? But they show it to you on your chart. On your mathematics chart is y equals mx plus b. I don't want to be so literal that you don't understand. Sometimes you have a minus something, okay? Sometimes you start in the whole, all right? So y is always total, okay? It's a total of something, all right? Total amount. That's why it says all of this equals this, all right? X, we know, is a variable, okay? X is your variable. M, we've gone over this, I know, but how many people remember what does M represent? Slope. And we need to further define slope as rate of change. Also, it would be unit rate. In other words, it's how much something is changing by, okay? All right? B is the what?
Rate of change.
The Y-intercept.
Miss, can you slow down?
Uh-huh. Okay, and the Y-intercept represents things like an initial value, a membership. These are just examples, okay? Examples of what it represents. A membership fee. On a graph, it is where x equals 0. So your pair will always be 0 and whatever the number b is, because it's where you cross that y-intercept, where you cross that y-axis. And if you look at a graph, okay, anywhere I cross, this is my y and this is my x. Remember, a lot of you are still struggling with how to do points. And I found this out grading some papers. You're wanting, when you found points of two equations and it gave you the point, you're wanting to go this way and then this way, or this way and then this way. And that's not what these coordinate pair is. X first, y second. Okay? So you always want to start here and either go left or right. Then go up or down. But anytime I cross and I have a point on this y-axis, do I move my x? Do I move my x? I don't go left or right, do I? Okay? I stay right here at the origin, which means your x value is 0. All right? And that's one of the ways that you can tell what the y-intercept is from a table. Okay? Because your x value is 0. Okay? And we'll get to that tomorrow. What does an equation... What?
Can we play Prodigy for this?
Not today. What does an equation written like y equals mx mean? Okay? What happened? I dropped the what? I dropped the what? No. Y equals mx. What's missing?
Plus B.
The B. So why is that? Why? What does that mean? Where is the B?
It's a that's a something.
Well, what it is. But remember, I keep telling you that we are lazy.
Mm-hmm.
So why would we write a 0 for no reason? Because if that means that the Y-intercept is at the origin. And we all know what the coordinate point for the origin is, right? 0, 0. So our Y value is 0, so we just drop it. Okay? And we'll write Y equals mx, and you need to recognize when you have a Y equals mx, that means that your Y-intercept is at the origin. Okay? Remember, that is a proportional relationship where this is not. Do you remember me pointing that out when we were doing paddle boat versus four-wheeler and music download?
Yeah, that's why I said non-something.
Okay? All right, so it says write the equation of a line given the slope and the Y-intercept. So if this is the form of my equation, they've given me my M, and they've given me my what?
Y.
B. Y-intercept. So what is my equation going to look like? Y equals what?
Y equals mx.
Okay, what am I going to put in for my M?
2.
Negative 2x. And what am I going to put for my Y-intercept? Plus 5. Okay? It's that simple. What about number 2? What is the equation going to be?
Y equals
3/4 x
Or you can put Y equals
minus 3. You just don't add a minus sign. You don't add a plus sign. If it's a negative number, you just write it as subtract 3.
Miss, why couldn't you put Y equals 0.75 minus?
But they gave it to me like this, so that's how I'm going to write it. Now my question, where's my Y-intercept here?
Where is it?
On a graph. Here's my graph. It would be down here. 1, 2, 3. It would be right here at negative 3. 0.0, negative 3. Okay? X is equal to 0 every time at your Y-intercept. I can't say that enough.
I remember this. You taught this already.
Some of it. All right. So now we need to find an equation, and we're given a line on a graph. So how do we find slope on a graph? Rise over run. Okay? So I got to pick 2 points, and I've got to say, okay, I'm just going to use the 2 that they gave me. But remember, we always have to simplify our slope. So I'm going to go up and then over. 1, 2, 3, 4 lines. And over 1, 2, 3. Now, if I put 4/3 in my calculator and try and change it and keep it a fraction, does it change?
No.
4 divided by 3, math, enter. Does it change?
No.
Yeah, no.
So I've got the slope in its simplest form.
You can really just look at that.
Okay? So what is my Y-intercept here?
3.
If this is 0, 0 right here. Do you see? Okay. Okay. No, it's not. Calm down. It's 0, 0. So, if I just need to count down 1, 2, 3, 4, what? 5. So, do you see that point they've listed as 0, negative 5? Y-intercept is negative 5. So now how do I write my line? My equation's going to be what?
Y equals 4
over 3x
Uh-huh.
minus 5.
Minus 5, and you're done. Okay? All right, what about this one?
See, this is easy, miss.
Let's do our slope first. So we're going to do rise over run. Now, do I have to go all the way to this point? I'm going to zoom this in here for a second, and I want you to see something. Yes, they gave me that point, but do I have to count all the way to that point, or is there another point that's closer?
You can go. Oh, there's another point that's closer. It's one. It's two.
It's right here, isn't it? The closer you can get your rise over run counting, the more you will not have to simplify, and I'll show you that. So if I went up 1 and over 1, 2, number 1, what kind of slope is this?
A 2 over.
No, look at that line.
A 1 over 2.
Okay, calm down. Take a look.
It's a negative.
Think.
I already said it was a negative.
It's negative. Look at that line. It's going down. So it's a negative slope. It's going to be 2 over 1, which is how much, really?
2.
Which is equal to negative 2. Okay? Now, if I had counted up to here and over, I would have counted up to
It's basically the
and
same
over
thing.
1, 2, 3, 4, and I would have gotten negative 2 over 4. If I'd simplified that in my calculator, I would have gotten the negative 2 over 1. Okay? So it really doesn't matter where you count rise over run, except for that you have to be in the corners. Okay? As long as you simplify. What is my Y-intercept? Where is this line
1.
at 1? It's crossing the Y-axis. This is my Y at 1. So my Y-intercept is a positive 1. They're saying that this is 0, 0. Okay? So now I need to write my line. So, Jaquarius, what is my line? What's the equation going to look? What am I going to say it is?
Y equals negative.
Yeah, you're right.
2 over 1.
Okay, or I could write that as this also, right? Negative 2.
Plus 1.
There you go. Plus 1. Okay? All right, let's try a couple more practice. All right, we don't have any numbers on this graph. Makes it a little more difficult.
We do this one by ourselves.
Okay? Would you like to do it by yourself and then check?
Yeah.
Okay. So first do your rise over your run. And first off, when you look at that graph, is it positive or negative?
Positive.
It is a positive line. Okay? So you're going to go rise over run. And I'm going to demonstrate it over here for those of you with difficulty. Come on, try it. 1, 2,
Wait, I need to know how to
3,
find the Y.
4. Okay, 4 over 1, 2, 3. Right? 4
See, this is easy.
over 3.
See,
Okay, Haley wants me to show her where the Y-intercept is. Okay? All right, this is the Y-axis, correct? Okay? I've got a line that they've drawn that they want to know what the equation of that line is. Where does this line cross the Y-axis?
Oh, Lord.
What is this point right here?
0.
0. Then I go up 1, up 2, so it crosses at 2. Okay? That is what your Y-intercept is, and it's positive.
So it'll be Y equals 4 thirds plus 2.
4 thirds what?
X plus 2.
X
plus 2.
plus 2.
Got it right.
How many of you got that?
Said it right.
Okay. All right. So let's try this last one. Now this one doesn't have any points at all. This is where some students struggle, okay? And what you have to find is where this line crosses the crossroads of points, okay? So if I'm looking at this, I want everybody to think, all right, and not just yell out,
Got it.
all right? Can I use this right here? Because it's not really at the crossroads, okay? Can I use this point right here?
Yeah.
Yes, because it's where this line and this line and this line meet, right there, okay? So now I've got to find another place.
Oh, it's like it's in the going through the Y-intercept.
Well, I could count all the way down to here. What
But
axis
that's
is
on
this?
the line. And then it's on the X and Y-intercept.
Okay, so I could count to here. But the first thing I want to ask myself is what kind of slope is this?
Negative.
So I'm going to put my negative sign before I forget to do that. That's the first question I ask myself. Then I'm going to look at rise over run.
You're not going to put the other thing?
Okay. And I am going to go up and over.
Oh, I basically.
And I'm going to count 1, 2, 3 over 1, 2. And I get what? 3 over 2. Can that, okay, can that be simplified?
No.
Are you sure?
Yep.
Okay. Then for the Y-intercept, I want, don't say it out loud. I want you to write down what you think your Y-intercept is. Okay. And then I'm going to write it down and you can compare. Did you get that? Your Y-intercept is right here. Okay? That was your x-axis. All right? We need to know where that line crosses this axis. Okay? That's why it's called the Y-intercept, because it's intersecting the y-axis. All right? So what is the equation?
Y equals negative 3 over 2 x minus 3.
Mm-hmm. Okay? All right? So now we're going to do a little practice. Okay? Okay. Now, on your practice, this is just writing an equation. Given, oh my gosh, I made a mistake.
What did you do?
Oh, no, I didn't. I wanted you to practice this because you guys are having still struggles with this. It says find the slope of a line through each pair of points. All right. I would like somebody to hand these out. Use the formula. So I would like you all to get your formula charts out. Because we need to practice this. So I need you to look at your formula charts. I also need you to have a pencil. All right. If you look at your formula charts, you might to simplify. Okay? All right, if you look at your formula charts, what does it say is the formula for finding the equation of a line? Or I'm sorry, the slope of a line. Hey, Blake, do you have your formula chart out?
X2 over X1 and Y2 over Y1.
Jaquarius, do you have yours out? Can you please look?
I already know. Am I right?
Get it out. If I have 3 problems, I would at least write it down once at the top of my page. What is it again? Looking at it.
Y2 over Y1 Y2 minus Y1 over X2 minus X1.
Okay. So I've written it once at least. Okay. So now I need to come to my points. And I have to designate what? X1, Y1, X2, Y2. Okay. Now I'm ready to write it. So what number's coming first?
-3.
-3 minus, then what do I have? -7 over what? 5 minus 8. All right, put it in your calculator. -3 minus -7. What do you get? +4. That's correct. Did you all get that?
Yep.
Okay. And 5 minus 8. Everybody should be putting it in their
-3.
calculator. Some of you are just getting the answers that we're writing down. And then you won't know what to do when it comes to your turn to do it yourself. So 5 minus 8 is what?
-3.
-3. So can I simplify that?
No.
Try it. -4 divided by 3. Math, enter. If you don't build a habit to try it every time, you will not get it right. And I'm going to mark them wrong if they're not in their simplified form. All right? So, your answer is -4 over 3. I'm going to circle my answer so my teacher doesn't have to strain to find it. Okay? These, you're going to have to pick your point. You're going to have to do rise over run to find your slope. And then you're going to write your equation with your slope and your y-intercept. It is really great if you get in the habit. M equals, B equals, because then you will write it down and you will not get it wrong. Okay? On the back side, you are given an equation and asked to write your slope, your y-intercept from the equation. Then down here, you're given a slope and a y-intercept and asked to write the equation. All right? So fairly easy for back there. Okay? All right? And that is your assignment for today.
Yes.